So the last part of this lecture, I will talk about some of the properties of definite integral. So if f is a continuous function in an interval that contains some points, say a, b, and c, then some of the following properties will hold. So we can apply the negative to the function, but in doing so, it is also necessary that you change the bounds. So the upper bound becomes the lower bound, and the lower bound becomes the upper bound. Now, when you evaluate the two bounds, and it turns out that the lower bound and the upper bound are identical, then we just get 0. And if we integrate the definite integral and there's some constant that the function is multiplied by, then we can take out the constant and just evaluate the integral of the function inside. So where k is an arbitrary number. And also notice that you can partition a function into two parts. So here I just introduce some c into the picture. So first we integrate going from a to c, that gives us this area. Then we integrate going from c to b, that gives us the second part of the area. So instead of evaluating the whole integral going from a to b, we can partition that into two parts, going from a to c first and then c to b. So having these properties in mind, let's have a look at the following examples. So here, notice that we can divide each of the terms in the numerator by the denominator. So first I'm going to manipulate it mathematically in a way so that it's easy to integrate. I didn't integrate it just yet. I'm just going to simplify this. So it's 1 over x squared and x cubed divided by x squared. That gives us just x. So now I rewrite this in terms of x to the negative 2 plus x dx, and we still evaluate going from 1 to 2. So this gives us, now I'm going to integrate it. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1 divided by the same exponent plus x squared divided by 2. And we evaluate going from 1 to 2. So we get negative 1 over x plus x squared over 2. So once evaluating that, we get 2. Okay, and for example B, first I rewrite the root x in terms of x to the exponent of a half dx. So let's take out 1/2. And if we are to integrate x to the half, we add 1, so that becomes 3 over 2, divided by 3 over 2. And we evaluate that going from 0 to 4. So we have 1/2, 2 over 3, 4, to the exponent of 3 over 2 minus 0. So this cancels out. And I'm going to leave it in exact form, so which is 4 to the exponent of 3 over 2 divided by 3. So the next example is a little bit tricky. So the first thing is they give you two expressions and they already evaluate the bounds. And the bounds turns out to be identical. So the bounds are all going from 0 to 1. But we have two functions, f of x and g of x. And they already give you the two results, one being 6 and the other one being 9. So there is no integral involved. The only thing you have to do is to find the value of f of x and g of x. And once we have those, then we can compute the integral going from 0 to 1. So let's write down in detail. So this is going from 0 to 1, f of x dx, minus 2 integral going from 0 to 1, g of x dx. And so that gives us 6. Our objective is to find f of x and g of x separately. So here I will rearrange this equation and I subtract this by 6 to get 2 integral of g of x dx. So now from the second equation, which is this one, I will also rewrite it. So now look at these two forms. Here we have a 2 integral of 0 to 1 g of x dx. Here I define the exact same expression. So I will substitute this for 2 integral of g of x dx. And that gives us 9. So one way to think about it is that don't think of this as an integral expression, but think about it as a variable. So combining these two, we get 3. Integral of f of x dx equal to 15. And so this gives us, if we divide both sides by 3, we get integral going from 0 to 1 f of x dx is 5. And once we have this, we can compute g of x dx. So by plug this into this expression. So the first part is 5 minus 6 is 2. So that's negative 1 divided by 2. So that's negative a half. So this question, you did not need to compute any integrals, but you just needed to find the components. So once you have all the components, then you can find the interval. So the first part was 5, and the second part was negative a half. And so that's 11 over 2. Okay, so that's all for today's lecture, and I'll see you guys next week.